All of big tech is having a little bit of a pullback day. You can see quite a bit of red in the heat map of the S&P 500. But even though we're experiencing that, we're still climbing. We came up from yesterday's highs based on what Fed Christopher Waller said. He's actually been one of the more hawkish Feds, saying that the market needed to accept additional rate hikes. But yesterday he said that recent signs of improvement should allow the central bank, aka the Fed, to hold rates steady into early next year. That was a pivot from at least Mr. Waller, and that caused the markets to jump. Now, we've run into today, and it seems as if this additional rip at the top of the trend is facing some sell pressure. But the markets, let me be clear, they've not given us a sell signal yet. We are just digesting this incredible November and this amazing move up. Now today I'm going to be going over some top stocks like Coin, which has had an incredible run. I'm going to be talking about crypto, and I'm going to cover some Tesla. We still have this big Cybertruck event Thursday, and this is still going to stay on our radars. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for hitting the like already. Thank you for all the Stock Josh fam that's joined and chimed in and commented. You know that on this page, I make predictions, bold predictions. Not every risk position I'm going to take is going to pay off, but you know that I'm not afraid to trade these markets, and I'm happy to give you guys technicals on what I'm trading. That's what this page is about. Hit the subscribe if you guys need some help with trading these choppy markets. All right, we're going to start off with a big problem that I have with the market. And I've actually talked about this before, and I thought it's extremely important that I remind you guys that somebody is lying. A couple months back, I did a video titled, "The Market's Lying," because we've got two opposing ideas that are playing out right now. The market is up way up high because they've priced in rate cuts in 2024. You have to remember that the market typically trades 6 months in advance, and so people, the big hedge funds and investment firms that are trading this market are not trading today. They're trading 6 months from now, and what they believe is that at that time, we're going to see all sorts of rate cuts from the Fed. But at the exact same time, we see that the economy is expecting the stock market and some of our favorite big tech companies to increase earnings by 12%. Now, the Fed is only going to cut rates if he begins to see weakness in the economy and deflation. So some analysts have got to be right and some have to be wrong. You cannot be simultaneously forecasting a 12% increase in earnings on big tech and simultaneously believing that the Fed is going to respond to that strength with dovishness. It's just not the way it's going to work because he's opposed to the strong economy. He has to slow things down to bring inflation under control. And so that is a big problem. And I wanted to remind you guys that somebody's going to be wrong. And so you don't want to get too bullish or too bearish until this plays out and we see which direction these markets ultimately will turn. Let's dive into crypto right now. Yesterday, the market was looking good. Crypto still looks good to me. Bitcoin still looks strong. Make no mistake about it, there's no sell signal on Bitcoin. I still am expecting a pop up to 41K on Bitcoin, but we're watching to see what happens. Right now, if we continue the way that we're going, it should continue to go higher. Now, there is an outlier that's showing strength today in crypto that you guys let's look at that chart, and that's Solana. Solana was up 5% yesterday. It's up an additional 3% today, and so I spent some more time on the chart to figure out where I thought it was going to go ahead. How high can this go right now, and then when should we consider re-entering or buying more? How low can it go in the coming days? Now, there's going to be some voices out there, influencers, who are just going to tell you that this is going to continue to go up like a rocket ship and it's never coming down. But you know that's not the way that I am. This is absolutely at the top of its trade range or getting very close to it, and it absolutely will come down and test the bottom of its trade range. I'm going to give that to you guys right now. Let me just point out something. The last time that Solana ran up right before the Bitcoin halving event, because you got to remember, all of these altcoins are tied to the big boy. Bitcoin sets the pace of the crypto market. It's the way it is. It's the way it's going to continue until there is some sort of a detachment. They're not detached right now. When Bitcoin rises, the alts follow. When Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum follows, and that's still the way that it is. Now, the last time Solana was nearing the Bitcoin halving event, it had a pump up just like this, and at that time, it went up 330%. Now, right now, we're very close to the halving event in 2024, and we see that Solana has actually gone up today. It's gone up 284%, which is very close to the 330% potential that it has if it were to do a similar move. So it's kind of acting in character. Now, here's what's interesting. If we were to go up to where that 330% potential move up would be, it actually puts us up against a very specific area of resistance, so it does sort of align. That area of resistance I see between $75 and $78. And I would tell you guys that if Solana were to continue to push higher, I think that would be the stopping point or the brick wall moment. It's going to race, race, race until it hits that price range, and then you're going to see a massive rejection candle, which is going to be a tall wick candle, which is going to point out to us a longer period in which it drifts down. Where is it going to drift down to? Well, let me identify all of the supports for you. Now, in yesterday's video, I commented that the ideal entry for me was at $34, but I wanted to dial this in so you guys could add these support lines to your own chart. I see support as a range. So the top of the support range is $44 and the bottom of the support range is $27. And so I see a potential area where I'm going to begin to add to my Solana. I'm not selling any Solana at the moment. That's not the way that you invest in crypto. In the crypto winter, you buy. That's all you do. I will be looking to take profit on my long-term crypto investments at the end of 2024 or in the first quarter of 2025. That's the game plan at the moment. But I will be looking to add to my Solana bag if we get back to $34. That's my game plan, guys. I wanted to get it out there to you guys because this thing is still moving up and I wanted you to have some fresh technicals. I also wanted to point out that there is a pattern on the chart. It's a classic bullish flag pattern, which is a continuation pattern, which typically breaks to the upside. And so I think that as we're consolidating and we get to the tip of that flag, the next move would be that other move up to that $75 to $77, $78 range. All right, I wanted to talk briefly about a technical that I gave in the Discord this morning. If you don't know what the Discord is, that's where you can get more communication and more trade alerts and more technicals from this page as well as from the Stock Squad. The Stock Squad is made up of Stockmo, Keenan Grace, Stock Up with Larry Jones, and myself, and we put all that content on the Discord. There's a link in the top pinned comment for that if you want to join that. Now, I gave technicals on Etsy, and I gave technicals on Tesla today. I gave some very clear direction. Now, Etsy is a play that I gave a couple weeks back when it was back under $64, and today it's up at $77, $78, and I've given an overview of exactly where I think it's going to go in the coming days, paying off really well, and these are the types of gems that I drop in the Discord. Let me also take a quick station break for the Moomoo investment app. If you need better trade tools, I want you guys to check out their current offer for free stock. They're giving away up to 15 free stock right now, and any cash that you put in to Moomoo, they're offering a 5.1% interest rate. It seems pretty generous to me. Click on the link to get the full offer. It's available in the US, Australia, and Canada. There's specific offer details for each of those countries. Check it out for yourself. All right, the next stock I want to cover is Coin. Now, Coin has been on an absolute incredible run-up. I have covered Coin in the past. Back when Coin was around $75, I told everybody that it was going to collapse and it was going to go down in price. This was last year in 2022. It did that. It came all the way down beneath $40. And I made a video and I said, guys, this is the price to buy. It's only 1.5 times its book value. It's ridiculous that it's gotten this low. And sure enough, that was the best time to buy because it's been really steadily moving up consistently from that point until now. And I believe that we have not seen anywhere near the height of Coin. But I'm going to give you guys some fresh technicals of where I think that biggest wall of resistance that is potentially going to hit here very soon, and then where I would consider rebuying Coin. I think this is going to be very important. First off, we're up against a very strong resistance at $132. And so it's going to continue to have to beat up against $132. Now, I actually think that we're going to break through, especially if Bitcoin shoots up to 41K. I think we'll have a breakthrough moment where we get above that $132. And we're then going to go up to potentially $135 to $137 range. But here's what I want you guys to watch. Now, the only way this is going to continue to go higher is if it finds support. Once it breaks through 132, it has to find support on 132 and it needs to hold. Now, personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to get above 132. We're going to make a big wick tall candle, and it's going to get rejected up somewhere between 135 and 137, and then I think it's likely to come back under 132, and that's going to be a signal to short coin, and it's going to tell us that we're going to move back to a much better support and a better price entry in the coming days. Only the patient will wait for it to come back to the key support levels that I give and be able to get in at a good price. If you're patient, this is definitely a technical that you want to pay attention to. Now, real quick, before I give you the proper support, I want you guys to realize that above 132, the next significant resistance is at 155. And so if these markets surprise everybody and have a irrational Santa Claus rally going into the end of this year, coin could find its way all the way up to 155. It's going to be decided at that 132 level, whether that holds or not. But more than likely, if we do a flash up and we come back beneath 132, ultimately we're going to move back, and I'm going to give you all the supports going down. There's support at 104, there's support at 90, and then there's real support, strong support at $82. So I want you guys to look at it this way. At one point, this thing came all the way down between $35 and $40, and that proved to be strong support. Moving forward into the end of this year and the first quarter of 2024, the new $35 to $40 range, that's going to be the $82 range. So that's where real strong support is going to be found. And that's where I would then be interested in buying again to go long into 2024. At that time, it'll be fearful. At that time, people will be afraid to buy it, but that's the level that I think will hold up in the coming days. I want you guys to mark my words and mark your charts, and we'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, I make bold predictions on this page. I'm not going to get everything right. Someone made a comment. They brought up in the comments section to something I had said in my last video. They said, yeah, but he got Alibaba wrong. Absolutely. I'm not going to make every risk position is not going to pay out. It's not going to play out the way that I think it's going to be. I will say on that Alibaba play that I said that I had low conviction. I also said that I was going in with small position size. It was a risk. It didn't play out. I immediately responded to it. I'm up over 100% on my put options that I converted to after the following day. Let me give you a quick BABA update. I didn't intend to add this to this video, but I think that BABA is going to flash to 73, and I think we're going to see a potential V-shaped recovery. Again, take note of this. If we don't get a V-shaped recovery, once it hits that $73 mark, then we know it's going to go lower and break down further. Personally, I think it will give us a V-shaped recovery, but I will at least say that's where I'm going to take profit on my puts, and I'm going to cool off. I'm steadily buying this price zone for a long-term play. So I'm buying the stock as it goes down, and I'm holding puts until it gets to my strike price, which is $73. All right, real quick, I also want to point out on coin, before we get too far away from it, that it's already outside of its Bollinger Bands, which means that it's run up quite a bit, and the momentum on the RSI is showing bearish divergence, which means the momentum is slowing even though the price is going higher. Now, that can continue for a while, so momentum can slow and the price can continue to climb. But what it's really telling you is that it's getting near to the end of the move up. That's what I want you to take away from that RSI read. All right, let's quickly cover Tesla. Tesla did what I predicted on this page well over a month ago. I told everybody when it was hard to buy, when Tesla was $200, I came out day after day and I told you guys I was adding to my long-term Tesla position, and that I did believe that before the end of this year that we would be back to $250, and that has come to pass. Now, here's the big question on Tesla moving forward. There is an opportunity for the window of 250 to 300 to open up to us. Where we've got to get above and close and hold for a couple days is $252. If that happens, then we're going to see that $300 price come onto the table. If we can fail to hold 252 and we fall back beneath 245, well, then we have hit the top of this run, and we'll have to go all the way back and test the bottom of the range, which I've predicted in recent days to be around that $224 level. People have asked me in the comments, I said, Josh, I'm not buying Tesla right now because you said it's coming back to 224. That's not the case. It's an if-then scenario. If we hold above 252, 300 is a possibility. If we fail to hold above 245, then we're going to see potentially 224. That's how I'm playing it. That's the information I've shared in the Discord early on. They get it over there first. That's my view of the chart. A couple other technical details on Tesla. I want to point out that we got a doji candle today at the top of the move. What does that mean? A doji candle, which is a small plus-shaped candle or a small cross, represents indecision. It means that the bulls and the bears are fighting it out, and neither one of them have high conviction. The bears are not selling it off. The bulls are not buying it up. It's just sort of at a stalemate. It means that they're waiting for some information from that cyber event. We're going to have to just wait and see how the market interprets what happens on Cybertruck Day, and we'll go from there. One final thought on Tesla, looking at the Lux Algo indicators that I recently purchased and I'm beginning to learn, and I'm going to share more about those with you guys. I'm not making a recommendation for you to buy them yet. I'm learning them. And if I find value in them, I will make a recommendation. But interestingly, we actually don't have a buy signal yet from the Lux Algo readers on Tesla. So even though we've come up quite a bit from $200, it did not produce a buy signal. Now, probably the number one reason is that it's probably affected by volume, and there has not been a large influx of volume in Tesla. The Tesla volume has largely been the same or slightly lower, and so what we would need to see is a massive bull day with high volume at these levels, and that would give us potentially a buy signal. Right now, it's still operating on a sell signal, so that's a little bit of a bearish view. I would say to you guys that if you are swing trading, you may consider reducing your risk going into this event and locking in some profits, especially if you've been swing trading this down from some of its recent lows. You might consider locking in some profit and lowering your risk going into this event. I will keep you informed if we do get a buy signal on the Lux Algo indicators for Tesla. Guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for hitting the like. If you want to get updates on these predictions and calls, you've got to hit the subscribe button. Come join me over in the Discord where we can chat some more. Thanks for joining me today. Peace and blessings. Take care.